Alright, Rockers Turbo, back with you here inside the asylum, and I'm very lucky right now to be joined by phone by the drummer and who is one of the members of Next to None, one of the up-and-coming progressive metal bands coming out of Lehigh, Pennsylvania. Their new album, A Light in the Dark, available wherever you buy your music right now. Max Portnoy on phone here with me inside the asylum. Max, how you doing, man?
I am good. What about you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. You know, wishing it wasn't raining, but we need it. So I think I can deal with it.
Yeah, it's pouring over where I am.
Unfortunately, it's the time of year where it's coming in. We'll get the rain. We'll get some warm weather. We'll get some cold weather. It's a hell of a year, but luckily we got good tunes to get us through it like that.
What was that?
Well, we got good tunes to get through the weather like that of your own band, Next to None, your debut album, A Light in the Dark, available out now. And let's address the elephant in the room. I'm sure everyone has put together by now. You listening. You are, in fact, son of Mike Portnoy. And, of course, I've got to ask, how much of an influence was your dad in you deciding to become a drummer? And was there at any point a time when maybe you were thinking a different musical route?
My dad really had he wasn't like pushing me into playing drums. It was just something I kind of drifted towards after watching him, live playing with Dream Theater and everything. Like, I grew up behind this kid watching him play, so it was really inspiring, and it was just kind of a no-brainer for me to like pick up the drums. It was just something I wanted to do, and luckily he was very supportive about it. I mean, obviously, since he plays drums for a living. So, once I told him I wanted to play drums and stuff, he was super supportive. I mean, I got a kit when I was like 3, and like I started getting lessons when I was 5. So, they were super supportive about it, and it was just something I've always wanted to do.
That's good to hear. I know there are so many parents out there in the rock and metal world that are hesitant for their children to get involved in the industry, knowing that the industry can sometimes be very brutal. It's nice to hear that your dad and mom were very supportive of what you wanted to do and had you banging away at a very early age.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super thankful that they were supportive about it, and luckily I found other kids that were my age back in like first grade that wanted to get in the band, and they had the same dreams as me. So I'm super grateful for everything that's been happening.
Absolutely. And now you guys are definitely a unique bunch, because the one thing I found really interesting is here you guys are, you're in high school, and you've chosen progressive as the style of music that you guys are doing in the world of rock and metal. Not exactly the easiest to go after. What was the decision in you guys deciding on doing that, on going the progressive route?
I mean, obviously I have a background with my dad of, listening to progressive music. He would always show me like all the stuff he did with Dream Theater, obviously, all these other progressive bands. So it's something like that I kind of grew up with, that I wanted to like make my band oriented around like progressive. But he also showed me a lot of metal too. So I had a really big metal background as well. So prog metal was kind of the perfect thing for me. And same with Thomas, our singer. He grew up with progressive bands as well. So once we found everyone, we all kind of liked that kind of style, and we just kind of went for it. And luckily, like were able to understand all the odd time signatures and stuff. So.
Well, you guys definitely nailed it, like veterans on the album that you guys have out, A Light in the Dark. available wherever you buy your music. And when you guys got together and you started making music, your first CD was a short CD. You guys put out your own and did a great job getting your names out there. And here you are now with your own full-length album. What was it like for you guys as young musicians to go into that album writing process and being in the studio?
It was awesome. I mean, writing music was something that I just kind of liked doing as a hobby, and so did everyone else in the band. So, getting together was just kind of natural for us to write music, and we just had fun doing it. We wrote whatever, sounded good and sounded natural. So the writing process was a ton of fun, and when we went into the studio, my dad was the producer of the album, and he was just basically there to show us, how to, basically record an album and what to do in the studio. So, we kind of had him as kind of our guide, I guess you could say, and he would show us, what to do, and it made it a lot easier, and we had a ton of fun doing it. We were all there for like a month just bonding and, going over like little details that we wanted to go over with each song, and it was a ton of fun.
Now, were you guys writing as you were going, or was some of the stuff that is on the album stuff that was written prior and you guys knew from playing live, or how was it done?
The stuff was all written before we got into the studio, so once we got to the studio, it was all well rehearsed, and we were able to just, bang out the tracks and then have time to, overlook it and do any, small changes if we wanted. And we actually played a couple of songs from the album live before the album was out. We were on the Prog Nation cruise, and this was before we even went into the studio. We played a couple songs like Blood on My Hands and Control. So, we played a lot of them live as well, and we wanted to be able to have it well rehearsed before we went into the studio.
Yeah, it's also a great way to feel out how the response is going to be leading into the album when you have the opportunity to test new material in front of a live audience.
Mm-hmm, yeah, definitely. I mean, when we played this stuff live that was going to be on the album, we got awesome, reviews and support. We posted a video of us playing Control on Prog Nation and posted on YouTube before we went into the studio, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is so awesome! Can't wait to hear the studio version." So we were really ready and excited once we were getting ready to go into the studio.
That's awesome. And you guys are really getting a lot of great support, and you guys definitely deserve it. Of course, have you guys run up against any barriers yet because of your age, or maybe fans that are hesitant to maybe listen to it?
I mean, we've run into, some problems. I mean, there's those people that deliberately won't check us out just because, we're kids and they don't expect much from us. But, there's also a lot of people that are checking us out specifically because we're kids, and then they end up liking it and telling, everyone they know about us. So it's everyone's been super supportive about it, and, the people that used to not listen to us because we were kids are starting to see all the growth and everything, and now they're starting to check us out. So everything's starting to come around, and we're super excited and super grateful for it.
That's very cool, man. Very, very good to hear that you guys are breaking down those walls and those barriers and gaining new fans. And what I want to ask, because you guys are such a young band, and we are here at a kind of at a turning point in the music industry, as everyone's struggling to see whether physical sales are still worth it, or if streaming is the next big thing, and how fair it is. As someone who's part of the next generation, kind of the one setting the tone, what's your preference in music, and where do you see things going within maybe the next 5 years from your angle?
Right now everyone's just, all about streaming right now, and, streaming has it's good. What's it called? It has its good qualities and then it has its bad qualities. Like, for example, like a ton of bands are losing money because people aren't going out and buying the records anymore, the CDs, and they're just streaming it on YouTube or Spotify or something. But then again, it also has its good quality. I mean, well, yeah, good qualities about it because it's going out to people just to like check it out and see if they want to buy the record or something. And say somebody can't afford to buy the CD, they can listen to it on Spotify or something. So it has its good things and its bad things. But I really hope people start buying physical CDs again. Plus, I mean, personally, I like doing that too. Like I buy like Slipknot CDs and Metallica's because I like looking through like the booklets and everything and seeing all the artwork. So I hope people like in the future will go back to buying CDs, but I'm not sure if it will just because of how big streaming is right now.
Understandable. I'm older than you. I don't want to say how much older. I'll be dating myself, but I'm like you, a believer in the artwork and the liner notes that go with CDs, and I've always been that way. And I try to help the next generation to do that. So it's reassuring to hear that from you, as you are that next generation of not only fan but musician as well. And you guys also are doing some touring coming up, and I know it isn't new to you, but what's it like being on the performer side of touring as opposed to being on the other side where you're hanging out with Dad backstage?
I love it. I mean, it's a dream come true for me. Like, this is all I ever wanted to do with my life when I was, young. This is what I pictured myself doing, and I'm so grateful to be able to actually be doing it. I mean, we've done the Haken tour, which was so much fun. We got, like, our own, like, little headlining tour coming up in November. We're touring with Fates Warning in October. So we have all this stuff coming, but after we did the tour with, like, Haken and stuff, it was so much fun because I'm best friends with everyone in the band in the first place, so, traveling from gig to gig with my friends was so much fun, and then being able to perform every night and then go hang out with all the fans and everything, it was just a ton of fun, and I just can't be happier.
That's awesome. Now, it's just great to hear that you're having such a blast out there doing it. Is there any advice that your dad gave you for going out on the road and maybe how to do things from his years?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a ton of like, what would I say? He's just a huge guide for me and like a role model for all of us in the band. He came along with us on the whole Haken tour, and he was very helpful. I mean, Haken as well. They kind of showed us what to do as well, but he was showing us, what to do, like if something goes wrong on stage, or like, trying to like show us how to hook up the ear monitors and everything, and helping us set up on time and everything and be organized. So yeah, he did show us a lot of stuff, and even with the studio, like when we went to record the album, he was super, helpful with that.
Very cool. It's always good to hear, man. And of course, I've also got to ask you, in doing all this stuff, recording the album, doing the touring, doing the press now for the album and for the tour, is it hard to balance between your school life and your music life?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of difficult because every time we take out for like a week or something for, touring or some shows or something, we have to get all of our schoolwork from the school and, do it on the road or do it when we get back, and it is kind of annoying. Thomas, our singer, he's homeschooled, so, he doesn't really have to worry about that. He can just kind of do it normally, like while we're on tour or something. It's a lot easier for him because he doesn't need to be at the school and like making up tests if he missed anything. So I think homeschooling really is easier if you're a touring band or something. But yeah, but Chris, Ryland, and I all go to a public school, so it's a little bit challenging. But it's manageable, and we can do it.
That's very cool. And how are you? Has your classmates realized yet that you're in a band that is really gaining ground and kind of becoming a big sensation in the world of rock and metal, or do they just know you as, well, one of your classmates?
It's kind of different for everyone. I mean, I have some friends that know what's happening and they're super supportive about it, and they're like, like the music, and they go out to see shows and stuff. But then I have some other friends that have no idea that I'm even doing this in the first place, and even though they know about the band, they don't know we're going on tours or we have a record deal or anything. And then I have like the friends that are kind of in the middle that know about the band, but they don't really take it seriously or anything. But my teacher, because I go to performing arts school, so at the end of the day we have, beginning now that I'm a junior, we have drum classes, and he was super supportive. He got a CD and everything, and he told the class about like when we got the record deal. He was like congratulating me. So I do get a lot of support from people at the school.
That's good to hear, because there's been so much over the years with funding being cut back in various aspects of schools, and so it's nice to hear that you've got that support, not just at home, but also in school as well.
Yeah, it's really awesome to have support from all my friends and even my teachers. It's super generous.
I'm sure I saw some photos over the summer of you behind the kit of Slipknot doing some of their touring. Your dad shared those on social media over the summer, and I know you're a fan of Slipknot. Who are some of the bands that you've listened to over the years that maybe you'd like to do a tour with somewhere in the future?
Slipknot for me is my favorite band, so if we ever got a tour with them, then it would just be, a dream come true. I mean, that would be like the coolest thing ever because they're my favorite band. So, they're on the top of my list. If I ever wanted to tour with anyone I could, it would be them. But, there's also bands like, Periphery or like Between the Buried and Me that I think, are kind of doable. I mean, they're big bands, but they're kind of in the same style as us as well. And I think it'd be really cool if we can, like, get some tours with them. And, yeah, I think those are, like, the bands that I would really want to be touring with. But Slipknot would just be incredible if that ever happened.
What did you think of the tour this summer? It was a great one, wasn't it?
What was that?
The Slipknot tour. That was some tour this summer that they did, wasn't it?
Yeah. The tour they just had was with, what was it? Lamb of God, too. And Lamb of God's another one of my favorite bands. And we went to one of the shows, me and my dad went, and I got to watch Chris Adler from Behind This Kid during the Lamb of God set. It was incredible because he's one of my favorite drummers. So it was just so cool.
Well, that's great to hear, man. And look, I want to thank you, Max, for joining me here inside the Asylum. Nothing but the best for you guys. I want everyone to go pick up Next to None's album, A Light in the Dark. Max, I have the album in front of me, so as always, I've got to ask, what song from the album would you like my listeners to hear?
That's a tough question because I love every song on the album, but I'd probably say You're Not Me because it's a really good heavy metal song that shows the kind of all of our elements, and it's like a short little 4-minute song, so I think that'd be good. But if you don't mind doing the longer stuff, I'd say Blood on My Hands would be my next pick because that's like I think another one of our heaviest songs that has all those prog aspects to it.
I'll tell you what, I'll do them both. I'm not restricted by time on internet radio, so I will do them both for you right now. Again, check this out from Next to None. First, You Are Not Me, and then Blood on My Hands. Stay tuned. More to come here inside the Asylum.